Hey, what's going on, fantasy sport general managers, owners? Call yourselves what you will. It is Thursday, June 5th. Today's show is going to be kind of a bit of a Frankenstein. The reason is I have to go to Vancouver over the weekend. So, by the way, if any of you are in Vancouver, I've got Gray's credit card. So, at Nick Capozzi, Nickcapozzi. If you want to have a good time with me in Van City, and for our American friends, Van is wicked. If Guru was on, he would say, jam. Speaking of his worship, I don't know if that's the right word, worship, but he's our guy. He's here, and he's got a new camera now in high definition. What's up, Guru?
Hey Nick, how you doing, man? You like the new cam?
You know what, dude? You look really good. Like, actually, it's a big improvement. See, we've got a budget here at Razzball Radio. Okay, we don't, but
we do. Isn't it just our returnables?
Yeah, that's what we do. We pick up. That's what I do in the evenings. I go through the parks of Phoenix and I pick up empty beer and soda cans and I take them in and with those nickels. Listen, nickels add up, people. Okay.
Just in just J. Wrong's returnables alone, that's like $400 a month.
Yeah, except except a lot of them are whiskey bottles,
right.
So by the way, listen, people, if you're smart, you're following me on Twitter. If you're even smarter, you're also following at the Guru GS. That's the Guru GS on Twitter. Guru is a fun guy to follow on Twitter. Plus, you got a little side blog, buddy. Let's talk about that real quick. It's dirtyturban.net. It's a fun blog because obviously you talk a lot about fantasy, but there's a lot of other cool stuff you do over there.
Yeah, it's a fun little blog, thedirtyturban.net. We talk a little fantasy. I set up a daily DraftKings roster. You can check that out. And there's a lot of sports and pop culture kind of stuff. There's a few writers working for me, and we kind of do it for fun. It's cool. Check it out, thedirtyturban.net. Thanks.
You haven't had me on there as like a guest writer, maybe because I can't write.
Anytime, come on.
Hey, I'll do like a guest video for you. We'll put your logo in the background here. I'll bring in my minions, and we'll take down the set here. We'll put up like a big turban background or something, and we'll do like a little turban hit at dirtyturban.net. Hey, Guru. First off,
sir.
I want to tell you, you've been doing a great job on the weekends with the hot sheet. So the hot sheet now is 7 days a week if you want it at Raz Hot Sheet. It's up every day by noon. We got the news. We've got streamers. We've got hitter streamers. We got some DraftKings tips, some good value. All the machines we have here at Razzball, we put them to good use, helping you make some cash, shinola, shekels, francs, whatever.
The hot sheet is a jam.
All right, speaking of which, let's do a little jam cram today, brother. By the way, and thank you in advance, Guru will be pinch hitting Friday on the hot sheet because I will be hungover in a Vancouver hotel room. So let's start off the top. This is a guy that every year winds up on all my teams. He was injured at the beginning of the year. He is 28% owned. I've been telling people I'm personally jamming Josh Willingham, but I will digress here to the Guru. What are your thoughts, Mr. Guru, on Josh Willingham?
I'm with you, Nick, because a guy that I did not draft this year is one Carlos Gonzalez, and the reason I didn't draft Mr. Cargo is because the precious Cargo is on the disabled list. I believe he's the 3,247th player to get himself broke this year. and while Corey Dickerson is getting a lot of attention, all right, I understand that. Josh Willingham, he's the guy I'm looking to. Old Hammy, he was the number 2 fantasy player last week behind only Nelson Cruz. He's back in the Twinkies lineup. It's only been about a week and a half because of that wrist injury. And I think that wrist injury is probably scaring a few people off. I can see why owners may be wary, a power bat battling, the wrist. But he's way under-owned. I think he's, like you said, about 30%. And he's hitting nearly 400 over the last week with 4 bombs and 10 RBI. This guy Willingham, he's just 2 seasons removed from a 35 homer, 110 RBI season.
Uh-huh.
He's way underowned. And if you lost your cargo, uh, like you didn't expect that when you drafted him, I'd grab Willingham right now. He's a jam.
All right, good stuff. I have been pushing for Cargo's nickname to become Carglass. That is my mission this month. Another guy we can discuss whether he's jammable and crammable, and I'm kind of on the fence on a middle infield, obviously is always an issue, but Mr. Brad Miller of the Mariners de Seattle. What are your thoughts on him? Little power, little speed, little low average. What are you spinning him on?
Yeah, I want to be a believer in Brad. He's owned over at Yahoo about 30%. And then over at ESPN, he's owned 4%. I never understand these discrepancies between the two ownerships, but whatevs. You know, Miller could be an interesting mix of speed and power for your middle infield. I mean, he's struggled this year. There's no doubt about that. The good news is, over the last week, he seems to have been, find a little bit of a groove for himself, hitting 375. He's got a homer, 5 runs, and 4 RBI. Now, the bad news, despite hitting 375 on the week, he's now hitting just 174 on the year.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the minor league numbers and his major league numbers last year, he hit 20 homers, stole 11 bases. He stole 23 bases and hit 15 homers the year before, and is a career 334 hitter in the minors. So the struggles up here in the majors, I mean, it's kind of weird. One of his problems this year is the strikeouts are way up. And his batting average on balls in play, that's down from 294 last year to just 212 this year. So there's a little bit of bad luck in there. In 4 minor league seasons, his OBP was over 400. This year, it's 247. I want to believe, but I got to see more than just a week of this. So for right now, Brad Miller, for me, it's a cram.
Okay, good stuff. By the way, I mentioned the show's a bit of a Frankenstein, so coming up on today's show, we're going to have Smokey on to talk a little bullpen stuff. So Smoke Show will join us. My beard will not. Oh, we lost Guru. He got upset with me. Yeah. So as I was saying, until we get Guru back here, if we do, let's call him. But we will have Smokey on coming up. We'll talk a little bullpen. My beard will not be trimmed, and I may or may not be wearing a pink shirt. I told you, it's a strange day. I can't get out of this trip to Vancouver. I'll go to Vancouver. Hey, Guru, you back?
Am I here?
Oh, hold on. There he is. Hey, he's back. Your internet is a cram.
Yeah, I think you're right.
All right, let's talk about Lucas Duda.
Oh, Mr. Duda over at first base. I mean, first base is a thin position. Duda's owned just about 8%. He was riding a 5-game hitting streak. He had a couple of home runs and drove in 6 runs. On the season, he's at about 242 with 8 bombs. He's 8 for his last 24. Could be turning a corner here. It's tough to believe in those Mets, man. They strike out a lot. But I don't really, I don't want to hedge the bet here on Duda. But in deeper leagues where there's not a lot of options at first base, he could be a jam. He could go on and hit 10 to 12 homers and 30 to 40 RBI the rest of the way, but the average is going to be a real drain. So a deep league, he could be a jam, but for everyone else, he's a cram.
Okay, no Duda day. Let's talk a little Sagnoff special. Cody Allen closing for the Tribe.
Now, I really punted saves across a lot of my teams this year, and I may have to rethink that strategy because, it's really hurting me. John Axford, he was one of the guys that I drafted. Oops. So Cody Allen of the Indians, he's about 50% owned. If you need saves, go get him. He looks to be, Terry Francoma's new reliever of choice to close things out. He's had 4 saves in the last week. Axford, he could get the job back. Brian Shaw, he might get some chances, but when you're begging for Sagnoff, you can't get too picky. When it comes to Cody Allen, he's a jam.
All right, good stuff. Andrew Heaney, a lot of buzz about him. The left-handed might be the top closest to the majors ready prospect right now. He's going to get the pitch when he does get called up in that great carnivorous Crayola Canyon down in Miami. And I love especially left-handers. First couple times they go through the league tend to do well. I'm curious on your takes on Mr. Heaney.
Well, I'm really liking Heaney. He was ranked by MLB.com as the #1 lefty prospect in the majors, and the Marlins are real thin at the back end of the rotation. Why not bring him up? He was a first-round pick in 2012. I think he'll get the call in the next week or so. The fastball, it can hit 95. He's got a real nasty slider from the left side. And he was dominant at Double-A. The ERA was about 2.5, the whip about 1. His Ks per 9 were almost at 9. And he just made the jump to Triple-A, and he had a couple of good starts there, and then he had a bad one where he got shelled, giving up 5 runs on 11 hits. But that was in Colorado, so I'm going to kind of, not pay too much attention to that. I've stashed him in a couple of deep leagues, and I've stashed him in a dynasty league as well. If you play in a dynasty or a keeper league, Heaney's definitely someone that you want to look to. He has plus stuff. He's got good command. The Marlins are going to give him a shot soon. I'd pick up Andrew Heaney. He's a jam.
All right, good stuff. And just quick before we wrap up today, Guru, are you jamming or cramming the MLB draft, which goes tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern?
I read an interesting piece from our prospect guy, Scott, yesterday at Razzball.com. And he was talking about the draft and how the MLB draft, the ratings were worse than the WNBA draft. It was a good piece, and if you haven't seen it, give it a read over at Razzball. I'm a huge baseball fan, so I'll be watching the draft today and see who the big names are and see who my Red Sox go after. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we won't see these guys for a long time, but hey, you know what? I give MLB credit. At least they're trying to make it more of a studio show, make it a little bit more interesting. But all the other drafts, NBA, even the NHL, these guys, a lot of them jump right to the pros. So you got to be a little bit more patient, but that's the beauty of fantasy baseball is we're playing in a lot of dynasty leagues as well. So a lot of leagues do their drafts right after the MLB draft. So we will be doing a lot of coverage on that in the next few days. Guru, thanks, my man.
You take it easy, Nick. Good to be on with you again.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, if I don't make it back from Vancouver, you're taking over the show.
We'll get the returnables together and raise some bail money for you.
All right, we'll be right back with Smokey. We'll talk a little bit of bullpens right after this. Okay, and we're back, and now we're going to talk bullpens with Razzball's favorite loogie. That's right, he's our late inning reliever, Smokey. What's up, Smokes?
What's up, Nick?
How's it going, buddy? It's been a while since we've had you on the show, man. You work too hard. That's the problem. You've got a real job during the day.
It's just West Coast bias shit, man.
Okay, just so you know, now that we're on Fantasy Sports Network, you can't drop S-bombs.
Ship. Sugar honey iced tea. How about sugar honey iced tea?
All right, we're going to get right into the bullpen stuff today, Rob. Let's talk about what's happening in Detroit with Joe Nathan. What's going on here, buddy? You need to fill us in because I don't really know what the dealio is.
I think age is catching up to him, to be honest with you. I think he's just being overused. I mean, in his last 6, he's got 2 saves, 2 losses, 2 blown saves. And now everybody's jumping all over and being like, what happened?
Yep.
But if you look before that, he had 9 consecutive saves being unscored upon. I mean, so it's got to be an overuse thing.
Hold on. So you're telling me it's age, but then you're telling me up until 2 weeks ago he was really good. So what's the story? Did he get old in 2 weeks?
I think it's just because the use of him is catching up to his age is what's going on.
Okay. Better answer. See, we dig deep here.
Like Minolta.
So what's going to happen there? Do you think he's going to be able to last the year, or is this the type of situation? Because, I mean, who's next, really? I mean, Albuquerque's got the stuff. Apparently all the good stuff's in Albuquerque. But who's going to take over there in Detroit if Nathan can't hold on to the job? I guess that's question B to question A. Does Nathan keep the job?
The thing is, Osmus is a Leland disciple. Leland handpicked him as manager, so he's going to live in the same stand by your guy. I think Nathan's going to be the guy unless he basically continues what he's doing and not being effective. the next guy up would be Jabba Chamberlain, I would believe. I think that he's got the strikeout stuff. I think Al was too erratic. They tried him there at the end of 2 years ago, or 2 years ago, yeah, and he melted. His K rate went down and his walk rate came up. I don't think he's a high level. I don't think he's a leverage pitcher like that.
Because he was a Padawan learner, man. He's not a full Jedi yet. He's not a bullpen Jedi yet.
Well, his Jedi Mace Windu needs to go to Detroit and.
All right, let's talk about someone who got called up in Los Angeles. Well, Anaheim, technically. Cam Bedrosian, son of Steve. Kid throws lightning.
Absolutely.
His numbers in the minors were ridiculous.
Sick. Baby Bedrock. I mean, his numbers.
Bedrock. I like that. I'm gonna make a note.
His numbers in the minors are just completely eye-popping. I mean, he's actually followed 2 other relief pitcher promotions, but I'll mention them in a second. The Bedrosian's K numbers, just to touch on those a little bit, he faced 85 batters in the minors and struck out 45 of them.
Yep.
That's pretty stupid. That's like Nintendo, like MLB Stars stuff.
Nintendo, you're dating yourself, buddy.
Absolutely. I can go back and go like ColecoVision if you want.
So, I mean, look, Frieri's keeping the job right now. Joe Smith is always there lurking, but Bedrosian's interesting as one of those middle relievers. He's kind of like you. He's a loogie.
Yeah, he just came up and he got his first appearance Tuesday night. Faced 3 batters, struck out 1, looked unscathed, got 2 ground balls. Completely looked like he belonged. I mean, Scioscia's a guy who likes to, he's like Osmus, as Prezius mentioned. He likes to stick with what he likes to see from his relief pitcher. But if Bedrosian stays up and keeps putting up a K an inning and being an effective ground ball pitcher, which he is, I mean, are the Angels really going anywhere with that starting rotation? I mean,
I like the nickname Baby Bedrock, though. That might stick. Okay, since you took over the show, you told me there's a couple more guys that recently got called up you want to bring up. Who are you talking about, Smokes?
Yeah. Well, in Detroit, too, the first 2013 draft pick to get called up was Corey Knebel, or Nebel, I think. The K may be silent, but he does strike out a lot of guys, so maybe it is pronounced. He's in the Detroit bullpen. I don't see him as a factor there. I think he got called up because I think he was done with the minors. He was an advanced college pitcher, didn't really have anything to prove there. Next year, when I think Nathan is a free agent after next year, so he may figure his way into that situation, but I think he's just getting a glory look in the bullpen there. And then the other guy is in Atlanta, who unfortunately Craig Kimball is not going to jump off a cliff anytime soon. But a guy named Shea Simmons, who just got called up earlier last week, his K numbers are probably mirroring what Bedrosian does, but not as dominant. But he's going to settle in, and just the cavalcade of relief pitchers that Atlanta produces is just phenomenal. And he's going to settle into a role and probably just run with it. He might be the new right-handed Johnny Venters.
Okay, so that means Freddie Gonzalez will burn him out in about 18 months.
Absolutely, he's already mowing his lawn.
All right, talk to me about Dellin Betances in New York. I mean, is he the future closer there? Obviously, there's a lot of questions going on with what's happening with Robertson. Betances has been absolutely phenomenal. What's the story, my man?
Well, since I'm on the East Coast and I'm in the shadows of New York, New York's been poking and prodding in this situation all week.
So hold on, I just back up because you're in Hoboken. So you're telling me Hoboken is officially the shadows?
Oh, I could swim to New York right now if you want me to. I wouldn't. I'd come out all mutated and have 12 eyes, but I could swim.
The shadows of Gotham.
Yes.
All right, back to Betances. Talk to me.
Yeah. So Robertson destroyed a save situation the other day, and then Betances, who's been lights out this year until Tuesday night when he basically crapped up the lead to Oakland. Robertson's actually a free agent after this year. So all the talk in New York, the New York media, has been Betances jumping in there as the future closer. They were examining all his minor league numbers as a failed starting pitcher and his success rate as a relief pitcher in the minors, and then his success rate this year as a relief pitcher in situations where the Yankees are deeming him that they think he's responsible. And he's responded very well. I mean, I could see it. He's got the strikeout numbers. He's got the put-away pitch. That slider, I can't remember what broadcast I was listening to, but it was another team's broadcast of a Yankee game. It might have been the Orioles, and when Jim Palmer was announcing it, and he said that might be one of the most dynamite sliders I've ever seen.
Interesting. All right, just before we wrap up on bullpens, anyone else we need to keep an eye on at this moment in time?
No, I think we're good. I mean, the relief market's been quiet recently. Nobody's been blowing up.
Yeah.
You know, it's that 2-week calm before the storm, and then all of a sudden, boom, close NATO 2014.
That'd be an awesome movie, Close NATO. I'd pay to watch that. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. We got a couple minutes here, and because it's the end of the show, if you only care about fantasy baseball, just turn it off right now. Oh, you're still here. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, World Cup is coming on. This is a good time. First off, let me tell you this. Our good friends at Sports Vault are running a World Cup bracket. Go to worldcup.sportsvault.net if you want to play with the Razzball crew. Plus, hey, why not get involved? Have a little interest in the tourney. And it's always good times, brother. I mean, look.
Win money. Win some money.
Money.
Like
The obvious favorites are Spain, Brazil, Argentina's in the mix. You're saying no. I actually, in my bracket that I filled out at worldcup.sportsvault.net, sportsvault.net, I selected Belgium.
Belgium is everybody's choice to be that dark horse. Oh, look, everybody on that team is in a starting Premier League or a starting upper echelon team in
they
Europe
got a great
now.
keeper.
He's on my he's a farm product of my team. I'm a Chelsea fan, so Courtois is a Chelsea goalie. So of course he's going to be good.
All right, so give me some quick. Let's just say you're in Vegas and you were going to bet a nickel on. I mean, you're not going to put a nickel on the favorites, but give me a couple long shots and that you like.
Some teams that could shock you, I think, are Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Their starting two strikers are all world. I mean, you got Suarez.
Yep.
And Forlan is up there.
He's still around?
Yeah, they're going to score some goals. They're going to score some goals.
47 now, Forlan.
I do think the winner is going to come from South America this year.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's going to be, man, if Brazil doesn't win at home, I mean, that country might go into civil unrest.
Well, the opening ceremony stadium isn't even built yet. Did you see that article?
Yeah.
They don't even have seats in the arena yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, one thing Brazil has other than bikini bodies is soccer stadiums. So
they do.
I got a feeling they'll find a place to squeeze in a match if necessary.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Of course, in some of those neighborhoods, you might have to have military with AK-47s just patrolling to make sure. Okay, Uruguay, I like them too. I have Uruguay going far. I love World Cup because I get to try and bust out country names that I'm totally mispronouncing and butchering. Who else you like? I like Belgium.
Germany.
Wow,
I like Germany. You know,
clockwork, chocolate.
Everybody. The soccer's not about scoring; it's about solid midfield and solid defense. And Germany's got it, and they can put the ball in the net as well.
Yeah.
You know, they got a great keeper. Their front two is awesome. Their midfield is stout.
What stout? Good choice of word. You're busting all the big words. What's the big German guy there? Schweinsteiger.
Mertesacker.
Okay. I don't know if you're joking or if you're serious.
No, that's completely his name. His first name is Per, P-E-R. And his last name, if you look it up, if you want to Google it and figure out what his German name translates to, the word I said before that you said I couldn't say online, that plus Sacker.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you like Germany as a favorite. You like Uruguay as an underdog. Give me a couple more clubs. Let's just say that might be the second team out of the group stages that you're not suspecting. Maybe Japan. Maybe in the same bracket as the U.S. because the U.S. plays Ghana, Mexico, and
no, not Mexico.
No,
it's Ghana.
Oh, now I'm spacing here.
Yeah, me too. I'm completely forgetting. It's Ghana, Germany, or what's the friggin' they speak Spanish.
Chile?
No.
Colombia? No, Colombia's not in this. All right, forget it. Let's move on. What do you think the Americans' chances are this year, especially without Landon?
Well, I just went to the game on Sunday when they played Turkey, and they looked awful. I mean, their defense is going to be spotty against. If their defense looks spotty against Turkey, so I can't imagine what they're going to look like against the other big teams in their group. Ghana's all speed up top. Germany is just, pound you. And the other team is Portugal, by the way.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Port of Galls.
Yeah, the other team is Portugal, and
Ooh, I want Carrasco now.
yeah. So I mean, I agree with the Landon Donovan not on the team. I think the U.S. needs to know what their future is about, not because they don't have a chance this year. To be honest with you.
You know what I love about you? You're not
What?
just a loogie. You're versatile.
Oh, I love soccer, man. I still play soccer.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm in an under 40 league, man.
So what else you got going on, Rob? Everything else is good in your world, buddy? We missed you around here. We got to get you on more often.
Hey, man. Like I said, I work too much, man. I got working hands. Look at these things. They're all blistered up and cut up. But no, everything's good. I mean,
it's tough working in waste disposal in New Jersey.
Yeah, got to take them out to the Meadowlands. Ball peen hammers and.
Hey, listen, so we've lined up, we're going to switch gears one last time here before we wrap up, on the 32 and 32 and 32 and 32 and 32 and 32 day tour.
Yes.
32 fantasy football drafts, 32 straight days, 32 NFL cities. We're coming through your town, if you're in an NFL city. We've locked up a few bars. We've got the Indianapolis Colts bar in Indianapolis, Houston Texans bar. We got Jerome Bettis' spot down in Pittsburgh. And I'm hearing rumors you might be locking up a bar for us in Hoboken.
Yeah, we're going to be going to Mark Bavaro's Prayer Pit. It's in Harrison, New Jersey. No, I'm kidding. It's every other bar you said was like associated with a football team, so I wanted to throw a name in there.
No, but this is your local, man, and this is your buddy that owns it, so we expect heavy VIP treatment. Do you want to drop it yet, or you want to firm it up?
Yeah, absolutely. We could do it. If anybody's listening to this that's in the Hoboken area, we're going to be August 21st at noon.
Yep.
We're going to be at Black Bear.
Daytime drinking.
Maybe have some legs and eggs, some shots and robots. I don't know.
Yeah, that Hoboken lunchtime, New York City, 7 p.m. is going to be wicked.
Yeah.
And we're dragging you around on a few of the East Coast cities. So
yeah, up there.
And we've discussed it before. You've toured around before following Fish, and now you can tour around following me.
Yeah.
You can make grilled cheeses out of the back and sell them to pay our way. All right, listen, that's it for today. Smoke Show.
What up?
Smokey Toki. Thanks for joining us today, brother. We really genuinely appreciate it. And we got to figure out how to get you involved here more often.
Hey, you got to, sometimes the clock work, if you wind it backwards, it's yesterday. But if you go forward, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what happens when you follow Fish for a few months. All right, on tomorrow's show, we're going to be joined by Rudy Gamble, the smartest man in our headquarters. And we'll talk whatever Rudy wants to talk about because really, quite frankly, when you're that smart, you kind of get to call what you want to do. Smokes, again, thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.